and welcome back to the Sideline Chat podcast, where today it is your Betfred Super League Week 9 debrief. I know I said Week 8 yesterday, but because I wasn't thinking straight, it's actually Week 9. And now, looking up at the first fixture of the Easter program in the UK and in France, we've got to mention that, very important. Catalan Dragons versus Toulouse Olympique first up. I gotta say, the Catalan Dragons bundled out 36 points to 20 in their cup tie against St. Helens, the quarterfinal that was.
Well, yeah, they did, which is unfortunate to see. So St. Helens, since the grand final, including the grand final, are up 3-0.
And that, again, Catalan got off to a fast start. They were up 4-2 at one stage, and I know 4-2 is not that much, but at least they started strong again.
They certainly did, but just couldn't get on with the job. But knowing St. Helens is still in league of their own, whether it's cup fixture or the league fixtures.
I tell you what, Jack Wellesby had an absolute blinder. Long balls out to Will Hopewadi, and then finishing them off, and then supporting runners back on the inside. Oh,
yeah,
absolute shellacking at the end when all was said and done.
It certainly was, but at least Catalans have got one less thing to worry about now for the city here. Like, they've got no more cup fixtures, they just have to worry about the rest of the league fixtures.
Well, it's now just, they got to try and fix their place in the playoffs now.
Yeah, like I said, focus on the league fixtures for the remainder of the season.
The bad news is they'll be missing, and this is a bit of a list they got going, Sam Tompkins, Samisoni Langi, Dean Vare, Gil Dudson, and Julian Bousquet.
Yeah, it sounds like, what would you say, a month ago all over again when they had no Dudson, no Napa, and more players.
So, out of the entire makeup of the Catalan Dragons squad, Morg goes to fullback. Romano and May remain in the centres for the Catalan Dragons. I did say on a Mr. Luke Sports live stream some time ago, I thought Tyrone May was going to get dropped. That didn't necessarily happen. And Corentin Lecam, the tallest man in Super League, yet another crack. Like, whether that will be off the interchange or thrown into the starting side, more than likely it'll be off the interchange.
Possibly, more than likely.
With Julien and Mike McMeekin there, definitely the case. Toulouse, meanwhile, 2 weeks to turn things around after that shellacking at the hands of the Casper Tigers.
Yeah. The first French derby.
That's important.
I've said, as always, I've been waiting for this game for all season. The first ever French derby, and to kick off rivalry.
The fact we had to wait 2 months for it, is it worth the wait?
I hope so. I just hope it is. I was hoping to be one sooner, but hey, rivals round, it makes sense to have the two French teams going head to head.
The big thing for me will be, I think this will be a fitness test for Artyom Morg. Having to slide in at fullback only 1 week back after a long-term injury. I mean, we saw it with Blake Taff only just Saturday when we were talking in the NRL debrief, but this is different.
Yeah, this is heaps different. He's been out for a lot longer than what Taff was, I believe. So, look, I hope he sorts in okay and plays well. But yes, it is a real good fitness test for him.
If this game was to be won, I think the left edge of the Catalan Dragons would have to do it. I think Josh Drinkwater is the chief playmaker in this side, and I have said it all along. Mitchell Pearce is doing nothing. I think he's playing, I wouldn't say playing shit, but he's not exactly living up to that sort of marquee overseas status.
Yeah, I have to agree with you right there.
Yes, I think if he can get clean ball out to Fuad Yaha like he did, there were some beautiful cutout passes in the lead up to that. And then he swung back over to the right to help Tom Davies seal that final try, that consolation effort. I think the Catalan Dragons win this 7 points to 12. I think Toulouse will try and throw some shape at them, but I think if this goes into a try for try, Toulouse will badly lose this.
But I'd just say Catalans will struggle without Tompkins, Dudson and the likes. It's really testing their depth yet again.
Well, develops the depth. Artyom Morg was probably a part of this.
Yeah, true. But then, in the pack, it's testing their depth there as well. I'm going to say Carlton's going to win this one and have to agree with you with the margin 7-12.
As long as they improve their middle defence, because they let 3 tries in from forwards, including Morgan Knowles, Dan Norman, Joe Batchelor, and they were pretty soft tries they let in, so they really need to keep an eye on their ruck defence.
Yep, they certainly have to.
Now, moving on, we have got Wakefield Trinity at home to the Castlewood Tigers. Now, both sides were bundled out of the quarterfinals in pretty abysmal situations there. We'll start with Castleford first. Manhandled 34-10 by Hull KR.
Hull KR were way better across the park. Castleford, they tried but didn't quite do enough. And it wasn't across the park for Castleford that they were poor. Not poor, that they attacked well. It was more Greg Eden.
Yeah,
and that's it. All I'd say is Greg Eden.
I got to agree. That those shifts to the left. But I'll tell you what, Greg Eden, he's been in and out of this Castleford side, mainly through injury, because we really can't get any accurate information going. But this is absolutely remarkable that he's come back into Lee Radford's side, seemingly don't know where he's going to end up with Faraimo and Daryl Alford's the first choice, and it's just gone bang, 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 and with all those bangs being tries scored.
Yeah, and 2 against Hull KR. So, look, he has to be in this side. You cannot leave him out. And he's in brilliant try-forming.
Try-forming. So let's just get this straight. You're trying to form tries. It's like you've got the form on there, and you're trying to fill it out for the try as you go along. So what are you looking for in a try exactly?
No,
if you're trying to take this to a job interview as a winger to a club, and you say, I got a form for a try here, and it's just like, okay, how are you going to do that?
I meant try-scoring form.
Are you sure? Because you sound pretty convinced it was try-forming. It's like, is there paperwork? Okay, how big's the paperwork? If you're a winger that scores 17 tries a year, how big's the paperwork you got to fill out for that?
Probably a page per try. I don't know. That's my bad.
I wasn't going to let you get away with that.
No, I know you weren't going to. Smart ass. But I meant try scoring form, so he has to stay in the line. In the team somewhere.
Do we need to do a cognitive test with you exactly? I know a guy overseas somewhere. His name we shall not mention. He's a bit on the loopy side. Are you sure you're not joining him there?
No.
Okay. If you say so.
That's what I do. That's what I said. I said no, so yeah.
Can I get the nurses on, please?
Wait.
I said nothing.
No,
I said nothing.
I didn't even know what you said.
Sir. Now, moving on. Hull KR. Well, Rowan Milnes had an absolute field day with this. I think he had his hand in both of Elliot Minchella's first half try,
yes,
as well as a try for himself. The tries up kicks really hurt the Tigers, and then of course also the efforts of Jordan Abdul and Sam Wood. Just first a nice hole hit going through the Castle defence. I think through Truman and Jordan Turner, or it could have been Kenny Edwards, depending which way you want to look at it. And then Jordan Abdul streaking away for the final try of the night. What sort of kick did Gareth O'Brien put in?
A very horrible one, and pretty much went straight up and down.
Absolutely shocking.
I think the commentators said that he miskicked it or mistimed it or something like that, but all in all, it was a terrible kick.
Shambolic.
And they paid the price for it with Abdul going straight through and scoring with no one really trying to tackle him at all.
They were in the tie up until half time, and then the Robins in the back half an hour, they're just like, hey, you know what? We're going to show Super League what Hull KR is all about.
Yeah.
And show off they did.
They certainly did. Look, they were just too good, way too good.
And this is form they could take into league fixtures as well.
Yeah. So Hull KR have knocked out one of the finalists from the Challenge Cup last year.
And speaking of teams in the quarterfinals, Wakefield didn't fare that much better against Wigan either. Also being in with a try at half-time. Absolutely torn up once again by Jai Field with yet another hat-trick to his name.
Yeah, well, I gotta admit, I got this tip completely wrong. I said Wakefield for the upset.
No
victory.
shit, you got it wrong.
Hey, I had to throw in what do you call it? A smoky in there somewhere. So I thought, oh yeah, Wakefield have been going pretty good. So I thought I'll chuck them in there, but I was severely wrong. But anyway, Wigan again, like you said with Jai Field, unstoppable again.
The support play off the back of Liam Farrell on the left-hand side of the field, and then backing up over the right, finding that beautiful ball from John Bateman, and just taking it. There's probably no better fullback in Super League in form right now. I don't know we've got Wellesby, we got Tompkins. On his day, I think Tompkins is probably still the far better fullback in Super League. But right now, Jai Field's probably the best try-scoring fullback going around.
Yeah, he's pretty much scored in nearly scored every game he's played this year. And no wonder Wigan extended his contract.
Yeah, all good to the Warriors, but sort of leaves Bevan French out in the cold, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but you could maybe squeeze Bevan French in somewhere else. But it's going to be very, very hard to squeeze Bevan French in at in the side.
Oh, sorry, not top try scorer. He's got 9, but he's not the top. He's third.
Really?
Behind both Tommy Makinson and Ken Seo, because they both got 10 tries each.
I was going to say, it must have been not too far behind.
Well, I bet you he's Wigan's top try scorer. I think that's the important thing. He's Wigan's top try scorer.
And he surely has to be in the top of the Men of Steel so far, surely.
Yep, top up Wigan man with the tries. There's just focusing on the top 20 alone. Only Liam Farrell comes close with 5.
Well, he scored in this game as well, so...
Oh, but what about the mess that was made of it?
In the lead up to it.
In the kickoff cast. What a mess that was.
Oh, that was an absolute mess. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it was a very big mess. But good things come out for Wigan with Farrell scoring.
Yeah, and clinical defence in the second half, holding Trinity scoreless. In good news for Willie Poaching, Tom Johnston could be back in his side alongside David Fafita. They host Castleford, who have lost Jordan Turner and Beretta Faraimo from the ranks.
Yeah, not good at all. And considering that Castleford did come off a loss in Challenge Cup as well as Wakefield, Castleford aren't looking too shabby after that, so they've come off worse than what Wakefield had.
Well, the Tigers have looked scrappy throughout the season, and Lee Radford has probably been on the more pressure than most, barring the fact Richard Agar resigned his position at Leeds.
Yeah, so that was kind of the first... Well, that was in a way a surprise, but out of the current ones, yeah, it is Lee Radford.
Yeah,
I think I got that right.
For Castleford?
Yes, I did get that right.
It's that big question the Tigers now have to answer themselves. They were in a winnable position against Hull KR. Wakefield, they knew they were in for it against Wigan. And practically both results as I saw it, based on what I had seen, because Castleford had been scratchy. But the forms with the Tigers in this game, especially the run of form they have had over Wakefield over probably the last 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
I think if they can get the forward battle going early, and I'm really liking Jake Truman as well, but especially now that Niall Edwards is settling back in after spending that time out, I think Cass would win this in a narrow one, 1-6.
I'm going to stick with Wakefield. Yes, that loss against Wigan in their Challenge Cup has put a dent in their confidence, considering what they've been doing over the last few weeks. I'm still going to stick with them, see how they go this week. I'm going to say Wakefield to win 7-12.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see how it pans out.
It could go either way.
Yeah, definitely.
And being rivals round, there's going to be, across all matches, there's going to be some sort of drama in each of these matches played.
Now, moving on, we've got the Leeds Rhinos at home to the Huddersfield Giants. Of course, Huddersfield moving on to the Challenge Cup semi-finals after downing Hull FC 24 points to 16.
Yeah, good performance there from Huddersfield and Watson's men.
I was very impressed with Tui Lolohea. He's really found his feet at fullback in this Huddersfield side. He sort of had it at Salford when he was playing standoff, but then he lost Jackson Hastings, fell off a cliff, had sort of, I think, best he had to leave, and he upstaged Jake Connor again.
Yeah. So he's refound his form that he was in at Salford. So, well, going back to how he was. So, no, it's good. He's going really well. And to, stand up Jake Connor.
Yeah.
You don't see that happen often.
Upstage him. He got completely upstaged. And he did. First, the try assist he put on for Chris McQueen, who himself is already scored 7 tries this year alone, which is probably the best we've seen him play for some time.
Yes, have to agree.
And then that beautiful support play back through the middle, backing the captain up in Luke Yates, who made the break, and then finishing it off completely. The Giants looked like they could have put 40 on the black and whites.
They certainly could have, but I don't know if Hull FC found something in defence and throughout the match that contained Huddersfield, or Huddersfield just took it a bit easier.
Well, they made the game competitive, the black and whites, Hull FC. First, a beautiful weighted kick from Josh Reynolds to set up Joe Lovador in the first half, and then the beautiful hit and spin. I know I'm saying beautiful a lot. And then that nice looking hit and spin from Andre Cervello. That made the game competitive, but I think the Giants just put that game beyond reasonable doubt. And even with Darnell McIntosh crossing late, it was too late.
Yeah. No, but Huddersfield played really well, which in a way surprised me, because of how Hull FC being a bit patchy in the league fixtures as well. But added to it was a close match. It could have, like you said, Huddersfield could have gone a bit more harder and scored a bit more points. But hey, a win's a win. They've knocked out Hull FC, so they're through to the Challenge Cup semi-finals.
They definitely are. Leeds, on the other hand, a whole host of injuries, still suffering. David Fuzzatua, Harry Newman, Aidan Caesar, Richie Myler, Tom Holroyd, and Corey Johnson.
They're all injured.
They're all injured. The only one missing for the Giants, Sebastian Ikehihifo. That's it.
And he's been quite good for the Giants as well. Well,
in form.
Yeah.
It's being quoted as, but really, that spine, Lolohea, Cogger, Farge, Levi, some of these names, if you're an NRL fan and you hear Lolohea, Cogger, Levi, and it's just like, oh yeah, these guys were shit at one point.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, to be fair, but they didn't really fit with what they were doing at the time. And of course, we have to take into circumstances the teams they were playing for. Levi, shit, Newcastle Knights, 2015-17. Cogger, the same story, Newcastle, Canterbury as well. Lolohea at the Warriors before ending up at the Tigers, which is pretty much where clubs and players go to die.
As of late, yes. But Theo Farge, since he's come back, he's helped Huddersfield go up.
Oh, he stabilised things. I think he stabilised things. They started strongly, the Giants. Got on the wobble, but now they're starting to bring it back. And really, I think they're getting pretty close to maybe doing playoffs this year.
I don't know. It's still a little bit too hard early in the year to tell.
Well, it's round 8. I mean, how early is too early if we've been going for 2 months?
True. I'd say give it about, maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks, then you can start telling. That's just me.
So give it until maybe round 13 to make a call.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, there are teams that right now we can probably say aren't going to make playoffs. I think
Leeds.
Toulouse, Castleford, Leeds are definitely in that category. Salford, Huddersfield, both the Hulls.
The way that Warrington's going.
Warrington are falling off a cliff.
They could be out too.
And we're going to touch them coming up very soon. But right now, final tip. Look, if this is all about momentum, I think the Giants are coming off a good high. I think what we saw against Hull FC, I think they'll back it up. They'll just want to tighten up defensively here and there. But I think they'll put the Leeds Rhinos to the sword. I think Huddersfield run away with this 13 plus.
Have to agree with you. Yeah. Huddersfield 13 plus. Leeds are just horrible to see.
Now, speaking of the Warrington Wolves, they will be in action against the Salford Red Devils. Big out with no George Williams and no Ollie Holmes for Darryl Powell. But the good news, Stefan Ratchford and Matty Ashton will come back into the side. So I would imagine Riley Dean gets named in the halves alongside Gareth Whip, or maybe even a smoky like Billy Maguli is playing stand-off, though I think that's highly unlikely. As for Salford, well, they're the only ones who have not yet announced their squad for this game.
Actually, that is false, because I have seen that elsewhere. Just bear with me. But Warrington, yeah. What do we say with them?
What have we said that... Well, sorry, no, let's put it this way. What hadn't we said about the Warrington Wolves in 2022? Since late February?
I don't know. It's just something's... Yeah, I don't know.
It has just simply gone horribly wrong. From such a promising start that I can't see them beating Salford. At this point in time, I can't see them taking Salford down.
Yeah. So Salford have announced the 21-man squad. I'm just going to quickly go through it because it doesn't mention the changes here. You've got Briley at fullback with Burgess... You got Briley, CO, Laffey, Burgess, Croft, Sneed,
Akawala.
Yeah. Ackers, Burke, Taylor, Addy, Vuni
Gayawa.
Yeah.
You're lucky I'm here, aren't you?
Sorry.
I couldn't imagine you trying to name half that team sheet without me here.
Yeah. Lannon, Atkin, Ornament.
Ormondroyd.
Sorry. Wells, Johnson, Williams, Luckley, Cross, and Gerard. That's the squad. And I don't know.
So still no Callum Watkins, still no Harvey Levesque.
No. I think it's pretty much status quo from the previous fixture.
Yeah, I would probably have to say, unless there's something we've missed in that.
Yeah, true. But anyway, that's the 21-man squad.
So, Warrington, can they turn this around?
Well, given Salford's form, they could possibly do it.
Well, I think it's interesting to think because last start Salford had, it was, of course, in round 7, and it didn't actually go that well. 30-24 loss to Wakefield, whilst Warrington got licked up by the Robins.
True. And it just don't know what the hell is going on with Warrington, but to lose to Wakefield twice in 2 weeks.
Back to back as well.
Back to back, yeah, that's very, very poor. So Warrington aren't in a good space at the moment, and without George Williams being there, that probably doesn't help their cause either.
It's a bit of a blow for Warrington, but they got to really rally. But at this point, they're not rallying. They're not playing like they were at the start of the year, where they had those narrow wins over the likes of Leeds, for instance, then absolute belters against Castleford and Toulouse.
Yeah, and it's just gone downhill since. Don't know what's happening. Like I said, Darryl Powell will have to start winning, otherwise he could be gone. I've said that last week.
Yeah, I don't think he will be gone, but I got to give this to Salford 7 points to 12.
This could be a chance for Salford to maybe rebound from what has been a poor few weeks. I'm actually going to say Salford 1-6. It's going to be, I'm going to say an even contest based on the forms of both teams. So yeah, Salford 1-6.
Now to the Good Friday doubleheader, the first part of that, Hull KR versus Hull FC. While the team sheets have not been named yet, we do know that Mikey Lewis will not feature for Tony Sestide as he's been unfortunately ruled out long-term with injury.
Yeah, that's got to hurt Hull KR. With Mikey Lewis, he's been in good form at the moment himself, and is part of the reason why Hull KR are going so well. So
maximum 2 months for the England Knights half.
Yeah, that's really got to hurt Hull KR.
Well, I think they might be buoyed by the confidence that Rowan Mills was showing that game. And looking at the rest, well, Oh, I tell a lie. They have in fact named the sides. It's just the fact that Love Rugby League didn't publish an updated version of the squads heading into this game. And so, no real changes. I could probably see flagged for Tony Smith at this point. I think, barring the loss of Mikey Lewis, you'll probably want to stick solid with the same 17 that downed Castleford in the quarterfinals.
Well, yeah, why mess with a system that's going so well unless you have to with injuries and suspension? So the whole derby always turns it on.
It definitely does.
It's literally whole is split right down the middle for this game.
And I feel like if we were in Hull and we made the wrong call, we'd probably be getting bashed on one side of the city right now.
Yeah. Or if you're like me and tip one team and then go to the ground and go. So say I tip the FC and then go to the Hull KR home match and go for Hull KR and I tipped it and I tell everyone, well then I'll get bashed.
More than likely.
But I wouldn't do that because I'm not that idiotic.
As for Hull FC, Kane Evans makes a rare appearance. I think he might have actually played quarterfinals.
Not 100% sure, but yes, it's been a while since he's been playing. Well, he had his suspension too. So.
Oh, yeah, of course. And, of course, Josh Reynolds did make his longer way to return into the side, but still couldn't force the difference.
No, which is a bit of concern too. He's had minimal game time this year himself because of injury or just can't make his way into the side.
I think it's more injury and suspension.
Yeah. So he's gone over there to try and revitalise his career and he hasn't really done that.
If I'm looking at both sides on paper right now, the big pack of Hollow C really troubles me. Applying that in a practical sense, Hull KR, they took on the big pack at Casper. They took on the likes of Matungi, Watts, Edwards, and they came out the other side looking a whole lot better.
Pun intended.
More dynamic forwards like Minchella and like Frankie Holton, who has rarely missed a tackle all this season. He's missed a couple, but he's very much, on the whole, a strong defensive edge. And then you got try-scoring weapons, Crooks, Kenny Dow, the big red and Kane Linnett, and Ryan Hall. I think Hull KR win this in a tight one. I really do. I think they win this 1-6.
Well, Hull FC, they've still got Jake Connor as well, so...
No, he's been hot and cold.
He has been, so...
And the quarterfinal again showed that. Like, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You can tell us in the comment section which week I said this, but it's sort of like, oh my God, why isn't Jake Connor in the England side one week? And then it's like, oh yeah, that's why he's not in the England side this week.
I think it might have been last week or the week before, so...
It probably was. So yeah, I'm backing the Robins in for this one.
Look, I'm going to say the same in a 1-6 margin. Hull Derby's going to turn it on, as always. I'm really looking forward to this match as well as the French Derby.
And finally, the creme de la creme of the Betfred Super League's Good Friday program. It's the St. Helens versus the Wigan Warriors.
I'm going to say, out of all the derbies this week, besides the Catalan, the French Derby and the Hull Derby, this is the game of the round.
It's all these Saints Wigan derbies, especially the Good Friday ones, they're always the most entertaining.
Well, both teams are on red hot form as of late.
Oh, they definitely are.
St. Helens are undefeated, and Wigan have what?
Are defeated, remember?
Sorry, all but one.
There we go.
They've won all but one of their matches, while Wigan are in the same boat, I believe. Or have they had two losses?
I think it's been pretty tight in the two. Wigan started off well, then they got that shock loss, I think, somewhere in the middle. But 6-1, tied with Saints on top of the table, barring differential, which of course leans Saints' way.
Yeah. But this game is going to be the best of this round.
I totally agree.
Yes, St. Helens beat Catalans in the Challenge Cup. Yes, Wigan did destroy Wakefield. But it's going to be very, very hard to pick a winner on this one. Jai Field's in excellent form. St. Helens are just good all over the park.
Alex Walmsley was named in the quarterfinals, but at this point in time, you just can't go past St. Helens for this one.
I don't know.
I mean, there have been times where we thought Wigan might have provided some stiff opposition, only for Saints just to come out and absolutely put the blitz over the top of them. I mean, it has happened.
Yeah, it has. And you got Johnny Bateman also on the Wigan side. Like I said, Jai Field, he's the one. Whenever, as of late, whenever you think of Wigan, I think of Jai Field. That's how brilliant
he's the leading try scorer for them at the moment. It seems as though Ian Thornley has been dropped from Matt Pete's 21-man squad again. But I think with the rate of having both French and Field in the starting side, especially the left-hand corridor, or Hopewadi, Hurrell, Sione Matauti, I'd have to say, if he has been named, to which he hasn't. Well, really, the only concern for Saints at this point is Curtis Sirinen with that one-match ban.
Yes. Which is unfortunate, but they're going to be as near full strength as possible.
Oh, they definitely will be, but I think if Walmsley dominates the middle of the ruck, as he has demonstrated in the past, if you can't contain Walmsley, you can't stop Lomax, and he will just let at the likes of Makinson, Percival, and Conrad Hurrell fly. If they all fly, check please.
Well, you have to say with Wigan, if they can't stop Jai Field, if St Helens can't stop Jai Field, well then Wigan could be all over the place, and destroying them. And Jai Field can pop up here, there, everywhere. And he's there, and as you saw in Challenge Cup, he got 3 tries, but he was there in support of his players too that had the ball. And then they knew he was there, so they passed it to him and he was off through and scoring. So they really need to keep an eye on Jai Field, St Helens.
I definitely think they'll have done their homework. For me, the key battle is Lomax versus Cust. 2 standoffs that really run on the authority and the attack over the sides, I think. Cust's authority has sort of waned a bit with the return of Tommy Lualai here and there. When Harry Smith was in, it was his side, and even when Lualai was playing early on, it was sort of Cust was running the show, but it sort of drifted back to co-equal responsibility for playmaking. Johnny Lomax, he just runs the show for Saints as perfect as day.
True.
And we have seen when Lomax takes on the short side, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, we saw that in Challenge Cup as well against Catlands. I think it was through Percival's try. I believe he was in the part of the lead-up work. So, yeah, give him room and space, you're in trouble.
A cracking game all around, but I'm going to go with the Saints 1-6. Maybe it will be high scoring, but I think at the end of the day, a try separates them.
I'm going to say this game is going to have the most fireworks out of all the rivals this round. More than Hull KR and Hull FC. More than the French derby. This one is going to have everything in it. It's going to have tries. It's going to have goals. It's going to have a sin bin from either side. I wouldn't even say that. It's going to be maybe no red cards. I don't want to see red cards. It's going to have everything.
Tell that to the Saints and Wigan sides of 2004 when Sculthorpe and Farrell just started swinging.
Yeah. It's going to have everything in that but red cards. It's got to go into Golden Point. I'm going to say that right now.
So you're back in extra time in.
Back in extra time and Wigan to win it.
And Wigan to win it.
In a 1-6 margin in Golden Point. And to top it off, in Golden Point, it's going to be a Jai Field try.
A Jai Field try to win it.
Yeah.
Right, now moving on, it's the spotlight of the lower leagues. We're not focusing on the Championship again. We're still in League One, and really the dismal state, once again, of the West Wales Raiders.
Oh, no.
They've done it again. They've done it again.
Did they concede?
Going down to Oldham 4-100.
What?
Yes, you have heard that right. A 100 points to 4 loss. This is where Welsh Rugby League is at, where one of your sides gets towed up in a triple century.
That is pathetic.
That is the
Hey, that sounds a very familiar scoreline, doesn't it, Connor?
Care to share?
Earlier on,
I got the screenshots. I'll probably post them
earlier
up
on,
later if
Connor
I feel
and I
like it, but I probably
we're
won't.
playing head-to-head in a Rugby League Like 4 match. Oh crap, what team was I?
You were the New South Wales
Wales.
Canterbury Bulldogs because I had butchered it because, 2022 career mode. By the way, this weekend, I promise you, by midnight on Sunday, you will get more Cowboys career mode. Guaranteed.
Excellent. But anyway, I was the New South Wales Cup side of the Bulldogs on 2017. Connor was a made-up Western Suburbs Magpies team.
With players that shouldn't even be there.
And I may or may have lost 100, and what was it?
106
to 0. So that sounds very, very familiar.
It does. It absolutely does. Now,
But the good thing is, at least the home side,
West Wales.
West Wales, got a try on the board. I didn't even get anything.
Well, when you got two players, including Martin Rigid, who's been in Super League before, on hat-tricks, another two on a double, and then one player with 4 tries in a single game.
Oh, and Restal.
Yep, the fullback for Oldham. Sorry, I was about to say West Wales there, but for Oldham, 4 tries in a single game. When is enough enough? When do you feel like this experiment is not working for us?
Only 1, 2, 3, 4 of the try scorers did not get more than 1 try.
Right.
And Martin Rydard got 14 goals.
Now,
Unbelievable.
West Wales have not had a victory since last year. They have had a record 18 defeats in a row with some very ugly scorelines. 1 draw. Former player Ash Bateman was appointed to head up the campaign. His coaching team leaving before a ball was even kicked.
Wow.
And he has to front up to a newspaper or to the West Wales supporters and basically...
trying to explain what the hell is going on.
And we have quotes, once again, from Love Rugby League. Quote, as the head coach, I'm devastated with that result.
Devastated?
It's not what we have been training towards, and I take this loss personally. Yeah, I would take a century of points scored against me personally.
Even though what else was making matters worse, it was 46-0 at half time.
He goes on. It all ends with me, and we will be working towards making this team a success.
Well, I need to turn it around fast.
When is this success going to start?
Well, I had that one success back when I mentioned, last week before?
I'm being honest about talking about results. West Wales has had to form up out of the shards of another team in Wales.
Well, maybe another team might be forming out of this team that rated
4 years. They have been in League One for 4 years, ever since South Wales, the South Wales Ironmen, were broken up essentially. But if we're talking about results, in 4 years, 3 of which they actually played, 1 win.
Yeah.
That's all they can boast
and 1
in
draw.
64 matches they have played.
And there's
one win.
And there's 1 draw amongst that too, wasn't there?
Yes, 1 win, 1 draw.
And the draw was 24 all.
And 62 losses. That's simply not good enough.
It's more than not good enough. It's the lowest of lows. It's there. I don't know. You'd hate to be a West Wales Raiders supporter, if there's any left. There will be the loyal ones.
Oh, there'll be the loyal ones, but I don't know how much longer they can continue appearing. Now, you look in contrast to the honours of the North Wales Crusaders. At least they actually have something to boast about. No joke, they actually have something to boast about being the better Welsh side.
Well, that's not hard to do based on those results.
And you look at their records, ever since, they really dropped down. I'm trying to find the results right here. Not really coming to the play. Oh, well, that's North Wales, L's in the Cape. It's a Super League, so we'll try and find something a bit. But the point still stands.
And you know what the sad thing is? This is only round 3 into the League One.
Which makes it worse. Now, if you look at the results of North Wales, on the other hand, they've started their 2022 campaign 3-0. Narrow win, over Rochdale round 1. Down Cornwall 62-22. Thumped London Scholars 54 points to 6. They are sitting at the other end of the table, running second.
With 3-3.
With 3-3. Then you take it back. They were third in 2021. Because it was abandoned in 2020, they didn't really feature. They ran 7th, but still a lot better than the West Wales side.
The West Wales have only scored so far in 3 weeks 20 points and have conceded 234, making a points differential minus 214.
And then,
compared to North Wales, who are 3-3, have pulled on 152 points and have had 62 points pulled against them.
And then they run on 10th when West Wales runs 14th, but I don't know how accurate this could be because there are some fixtures telling me 50. 50 games played for 50 losses. So I really don't know. But when is enough enough?
More than enough is enough. Enough should have been enough ages ago.
And then we got the club CEO, Peter Tiffin, going on the record to basically say, I know we have had a few years in the professional league, and some may be thinking the club is going backwards in results. But please be patient, as an arrow needs to be pulled back before it can go forward.
How far back does it need to get pulled?
With all the tries they've conceded, you could literally walk from Cardiff probably up to Liverpool with the amount of tries West Wales have conceded. Simply not good enough. Something needs to change. If
that arrow is getting pulled back and back and back and back and back, whenever it gets fired, it better be bloody good.
You know, I hear Elon Musk is throwing a lot of money around. Maybe if he could invest in some Welsh rugby league as well as North America. He's got billions to throw around. He's got some worthless company that he's tried to take over partway through. I heard it was big once before. We're on it, apparently.
Are we?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
So maybe, who knows? Maybe if he's not busy with tech companies that have got problems of their own, he could probably throw some money into rugby league somewhere. Maybe he shouldn't, maybe he should. I'll put that to you. Should Elon Musk throw money into rugby league across both sides of the Atlantic Ocean?
Well, he wouldn't be throwing his money into West Wales Raiders, I don't think.
It wouldn't be a wise investment, but at least he'd be throwing his money at something worthwhile.
True. Anyways, what a performance there from West Wales.
And on that bombshell scoreline, it is full time from us. Don't forget to give us a follow on our social media pages. It's with Facebook and Instagram, and it's simply Sideline Chat. And on Twitter, to which our beautiful Overlord Master Musk currently sits on, it is Sideline Chat RL. Don't forget to leave a like, hit that subscribe button like Will Smith hitting Chris Rock. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so you never miss a week of rugby league. Once again, reiterating, hope you have a happy Easter and enjoy all the fixtures coming to you this way. And we'll be back next week with more rugby league content. Along with Mark Henry, I'm Con Marcellus, and you have been listening to the Sideline Chat podcast. But don't make sure you keep our name out of your mouth. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.